So, so I like to, different devotees do it differently, but this is what I like to do. At least a lot of times I like to do this. And you'll see, in the pictures that I'll show you do course, you'll see how it is that it gives them a certain feel. So, and that is, instead of putting like this, well, this you could do it like that, but it doesn't do much for them. But rather, I like to bring it to the side a little, so that it's and bring this up a little and this down a little, so that it accentuates that movement of his hip. See, and it should be rounded, so that it's looking. You see what I'm saying? Instead of just doing it like straight across in front, Yeah, it'd be, to give them a little pizzazz. You just say it's more rusty. So I bring it up further over here. And I don't worry about this because usually the garland covers that. Even though it's off-centered. It'll be off-centered. You see, so now, sometimes you can do it more off-centered, sometimes, and like if you have flower belts, like many times, we make flower belts so that may cover part of it anyway, so, but if there is a flower belt, I always make sure that at least this top part of this belt is showing, and some portions of the jewel belt will be shown to the flowers. But to bring it up like this, so it is making it look like this way, you see. No. So there's different ways of doing his chutter. Just the time he's getting late. Huh? So we'll at least get. I'll show you. One of my favorite. One is that you You're not using your head. This is the normal way, so to speak. Just to bring this. But this has a tendency. You don't want to cover up his form too much. If you want to show his hip a little more, then you have to bring it over a little more. And then you might even have to pin it like this. And then sometimes you can pin it to right underneath sleeve here. But most of the time I prefer to bring it down here and get like a little, so that it looks a little wavy. See, instead of just going like this. You see the difference? You can do it like that. That's one style. But I prefer to give it a little curl, which means you have to pull it out here and then curl it back. And you can curl it back more or less, like that, to give it just a little curl sometimes. Sometimes you give it a little more.
Using pins.
Using pins, yeah. So if you, I'll show you how to do it, because this I do sometimes. But there's this other way where it's coming off. Both of them are coming off of one arm. Which I can illustrate or demonstrate the principle more graphically here. This is on both times. So for this one, you see how it's longer, right? So you have to go around a couple times on his arm. And here's many ways of doing this also. You could, there's the straight style, where everything is hold out straight. But that doesn't have so much wow. But I don't like it that it's just, you know, like some devotees, they just hang it from the string like that. But if you have to remember that whichever direction the string's coming from, that's the direction that the cloth is going to go toward. So that's why I have these two strings hanging here. Because in order to get it a curled effect, you have to pull it around this way, and there should be strings, usually the furthest string, you know, closest to Radharani. But first usually you do it from here. The same idea. But this one, when this how we require running faster. What is it? This is the one. So here we have a situation with this very long string. So you do your 8. And you can do it like high. You know, if you do it higher, you can get. We have to have a different line. In order to get get it up high. Usually it won't be from that. You have to adjust according to your sing-a-song setup. And here you don't want to put it on the end. Keep it like 1.5 inches or so away from the end.
Can I put the leaves in the end?
No. Because you want this to come down like this. See, if you put it on the end, then it's going to go like that. You see? So in order to get the curl effect. Now there's another little trick. We want to have a string cut to it. Sometimes you can use a string that's previously there. There's this. If you use a string that's already been used, then you put the pin through the cloth, right, and back out again, and then you just wrap it once, or sometimes twice. Once is sufficient. You wrap the string around. It's already attached down here. See, so you just put it here and wrap it around once. It's sufficient. The reason why you want to do that is because if you don't do that, then this act is not generated. You want to make sure that the lines are going, complementary to the curl. And sometimes, see, look at this. In order to get even more of a curl, you can pull this down and pin it to the cloth that's going around his arm.
How long do you take to dress shampoo?
Well, we have about 2 hours, but usually, the rascal that I am, I chant some japa first, and then I come on about 50 minutes, 45 minutes, sometimes even before, and I can dress both of them in 45 minutes. But I'm on fire. If I'm going to do it in a short time, very quickly. But I prefer to have at least an hour for dressing both of them, because it gives me more time to be a little more discreet in the way I'm putting it together. But I can do all these type of things within 45 minutes. Yeah.
Everything is all preset or jewelry or only.
No.
So within that frame.
Within that time, I'm choosing the jewelry and doing everything. So look, see? You don't like if you're gonna do a curl like this. This is you could say is a more advanced technique than just hanging things out straight. This is where it's gonna take a little more time, a little more understanding. But like, let's see what the cloth is doing here. It's kind of like folding. That is necessary to make even look more of a curl on the inside, because you fold it, you pull on it like that, and then take a pin. You know, to make sure that it's looking nice and round. See? And then you do the same thing with this one. But rather, I don't use another string, but if it's not, if it doesn't pull on it too much, if the cloth is too flimsy, then if you attach it to here, then the tendency will be to pull it down and spoil the lines there. But this doesn't seem like it's too flimsy, so we'll tie it. And this is not going to be as accentuated as this one. And when you use the string for this side, it takes some of the weight off. We don't have any on the other ground. Yes, yes. So you do for Krishna Army Brian Ty and such. It will. See, in this one, you have to use curls.
You need to use the same dressing technique.
Same dressing technique, yeah.
With the pair also.
Yeah. Depending on the pose of the deity. If the deity is posing in one way, then you want to try to accent that. And see, you don't want this kind of thing to happen. Of course, you don't notice it here because there's two sides. But if there's a back side, you got to make sure that when you're looking at on down particularly, that the back sideways, sometimes you see this part hanging down below, the back of it hanging down below your border. And sometimes if it's depending on sometimes it may be useful. Here it's not necessarily, it's not useful, but sometimes to join the two together. Depending.
But anyways, in this background, in your part,
No, you don't. Whatever. See, you have to. There's a certain kind of logic that you have to use. That if one thing is flying, then why would the other thing just be hanging limp? You understand? So you want the motion, both things the motion to be similar. Even if the doughy was longer, I would also make a curl of the doughy. Right. Oh, now we're ready for the garland. You can put a choker on him. I guess we could do that. That's done before you put on your garland. Choker means it's like it's not a necklace, but it's nose up in the neck. Do we have a choker?
Yeah.
Usually I don't do it. Maybe. Ready.
You should shake yourself.
You can do that without the Mati?
Yeah.
I'll give them the street Baba.
Very mysterious. And another point is, see, this is silver. You don't want to use silver jewelry when it's a gold outfit, but we're going to use it anyway. Now, oh, this almost like bells.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not so good either. See how this like got 3 lines? So when you do it, when you let it loose, it comes forward. It doesn't actually, you can't get it to, so this is not so good. What, I don't one like this? Usually I don't even use one. You hardly ever see it anyway.
Here you go.
There you go.
And touch it to underneath hand first. Okay. So there's different ways of hanging a garland, but in the situation where you've flown it up like this, then you also want the garland to go more in that direction. If this is coming down, then the garland, you can either have the garland going in this direction, or rather under. But then this will be in a different configuration. Usually we have, in Vrindavan, we make moon laddus, which are double or triple even, you palm the moon on. It's better to avoid.
You think triple, huh?
Oh, mostly it's double. Sometimes no, there's a little.
oh,
We call it moon locket. Yeah, I don't know why they call it moon locket.
You need a 3.
Yeah, usually it's 3.
Yes.
I remember the number.
Let's see.
After the locker, then there is 3.
Oh, I see.
Yes, and then on the bottom there's like bigger flowers. You know, usually we use like these little like this kind of flower.
Balance.
Small.
Yeah.
The bottom is small. So here I'm doing what I would not do usually, and that's putting the line across. It's better if it can be avoided. It's going viral. You know, it's my. Did you see what I did? Yeah. You have to go around twice, and then pull it, and it locks it. And usually,
Is that safe, you know?
Hmm?
Is it soap, you know? Or go around to one
Twice, yeah.
That's cool.
yeah, but you have to go around between the flowers. You don't want to pull it. You don't want to go around the flower and then pull it, and it breaks the flower apart. It creates a gap.
But in our case here, mother, the garden is so huge and heavy.
Yeah, well, you might have to go 2 or 3 times. You know.
Walk it by.
No, you just by. No, you don't have to. This is see. This will have to be going to the side. And sometimes, I mean, this is one way of doing it is just having, you know, like that. But I usually bring it to the side. We sometimes bring it over his arm like that. I prefer to have an inside garland also, 2 garlands. Because what the inside garland does, the function that it serves, is it helps to hold up the, you know, the necklaces. Whereas now, it's more difficult. We have necklaces? Yeah. Just single strand? Yeah. And, oh, that's too small.
Is it lower and is it okay? No.
We're okay. Well, I can't stay very long because I have to go over here.
Okay, so what we'll have, like,
Yeah.
Kumapa, can you go turban up please and finally, Kumapa will do just one quick turban.
Yeah.
And then we'll go into tomorrow, Shrimati Radharani.
Yeah, damn good there.
Yeah.
Yes, so.
Okay.
My feeling is after so many years of doing it, is that, I mean, I've seen a lot of juries, they have a tendency to want to put the necklace all the way down to the end of the garland. But kind of like, why would somebody want to have necklaces hanging all the way down to his knees? It doesn't make too much sense to me. You know, usually a necklace is around your neck, and it may come down to the navel or something. That's what and you're not usually, I mean, a garland, from Shastra we see that the garland can go to the knees or to the feet even. But the necklace is not going to go to the feet. And it doesn't make too much sense. So usually what I do, and for sure, one of the main things that I advocate, many times I see in many temples, they dress the deity in such a way that looks very illogical to my way of thinking. And that is that they have the garland coming over here. And they have all the necklaces coming over here. And so what that means in effect is that, you know, Krishna has to stick his hand. I mean, why would Krishna want to be sticking his hand through the garland, you know, to get to his flute, play flute? It doesn't, it's not very sensible. So yeah, I see that a lot of times, you know. But
You
so,
don't get what he's saying?
no, so I never do that because I prefer seeing a more natural, logical way that Krishna's going to be, if Krishna has his flute in his right hand, right? He cuts it to his lips, you know, to attract the beautiful gopis. Then here's his garland. He's going to swing his arm around this side. It's not going to go through. He's going to swing his arm around this side. He's going to latch onto the flute and play it, right? So it's a more natural, it's a sensible thing. So to keep it more within the realm of common sense, you know, I always do it that way. Sometimes when I put the jewelry on, if I have, like sometimes when he lifts his arm up to play the flute, perhaps he'll catch it, and it's not totally illogical that, you know, his arm will force the garland up here in the middle, and then will be coming over a little like that. And then sometimes when I put the necklaces on, I'll have the necklaces also following suit. You know, but often many times just to put, then it reveals his arm. See, so sometimes you can reveal the arm, and if this, you have to take into consideration which parts of, you know, because on different days you might want to because variety is the mother of inspiration, you know, for the devotees. Mother enjoyment for Krishna, mother inspiration for service to the devotees. So you know, one day you want to do, you don't want to do, repetition of a good thing is a good thing, but you don't want to repeat it too much. You know, you want to do one day one way, and then it's just like, it's the same thing. Many times devotees ask me why it is that I like to sing so many different kinds of tunes. Prabhupada didn't like, Prabhupada only sang, you know, 2 or 3 different tunes, and Aindra came out with all these, you know, varieties and varieties of tunes. It's the same principle. You know, that we're decorating, just like we're decorating the holy name in this way and that way. We see the deity in a different light. Every time we dress the deity in one way, then you're going to see Krishna looking like, you know, and that will be, oh wow, look at how he looks now, you know. And then the next time it increases, especially for advanced devotees. They don't need any jewelry. They don't need any, you know, they don't need anything. It can look and still Krishna's there. There's 2 types of ruchi, you know, as far as ruchi goes, as it's described in Madhurya Kadambini. One type of ruchi is that there are accoutrements which become the cause of the inspiration to do the service, and the others without accoutrements. So if you dress the deity nicely or don't dress the deity nicely, then okay, fine. You know, Krishna's Krishna, and we just want to see his beautiful face. You know, but if you obliterate the beautiful face by putting way too much paint on his face, or cover his form in ways that don't allow the devotees to actually see, you know, different aspects of Krishna's beauty, then, you know, we're not really doing much of a service, but rather we may be doing a disservice. So anyhow, I'll just you may have to use blue tacks in the back. We'll keep the necklaces like right around there. These kinds of pearls that are not loose on a string are more difficult to deal with. You have to use blue tack to get it.
This type of the is
No, not that. That's the problem. Is that there's not enough space between the beats, you know, to twist them together. So you have to stick them together with blue tack. Okay, now look, see? The same thing. Go around it twice. And that should hold it in place, see? So that it's following it down. And I always start with from the outside in. First the garland, then the next longest one, then the next. Because if you do it the opposite way, you're going to run into trouble. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing here. See, we have all this string left over, extra. You know, I could do. So this extra string, a few hundred.
The instrument was
It's the same string that was from the garland up to here.
Up to there.
so when you're unpicking, you just take the scissors and cut it off.
No, you just pull it, and you undo it. Just pull it out.
Oh, what's that?
And then pull it out.
Gone.
Yeah, you need another string fiddle. Yeah.
Yes. Betty.
10 to 7.
Here's how you do this. And you have to twirl this around a figure eight. Put it approximately where you want it. But it twirls around figure eight 2 times. And then put it into the middle of the so that it goes through the gap of whatever hard flower is there. What's that? And you have this, you have to deal with this. Oh, here's a string hanging on here. You know, if they're way too long, you don't need it, just cut it off. But then you might need it for something, another cut. And then you waste time doing this ring on. So sometimes it was
Long. It was kind of long.
So let's just thank Aindra Prabhu. I think he has got another assignment as well. Thank you very much. Now, do you have time or otherwise? Is it around 5 minutes? Okay, they have 5 minutes. Maybe you can show them what.